Hello everyone, Cycling Bull here. First, let's talk about last week's race. If you haven't seen the outcome, click on the right top corner so I don't spoil anything for you afterwards. So just stop the video now. I won 2 points, which put me in 27th place in the A group and overall. Not the best performance, but I'm striving for the best every time I get on the bike. There are still some things that I have to get on top of in order to be able to compete for the win, and I'm doing everything in order to get there. 5 races in, I'm feeling more confident every time. 5 races, of course, overall. This is my second race in the Slovenian Zwift League. So let's talk about the second stage, which you're gonna see now. It's the Richmond UCI World's Road, which is the replica of the 2015 UCI Road World Championship, a course in Richmond, Virginia, USA. It was this race where Peter Sagan actually won his first World Champions jersey in 2015, and it's a really interesting course. It's flat almost throughout the whole race, but the last part, just before the finish, there are 3 climbs which are really nasty. The distance is 16.3 kilometers with 142 meters of elevation for a lap, and we did 3 laps in total for 48 kilometers that we've covered. Again, similarly to Sand and Sequoia's, the track had a long straight where the bunch was staying together, but after the 3/4 of the lap there were those 3 short but really punchy hill climbs, and I was expecting that the more experienced riders would have done their moves exactly at those places. The start of the race, as always, was putting a lot of watts, but because of the start was on the flat, there were no breakaways early on, so the bunch managed to stay together. This time I had with me a carb gel plus water, and I've also drank my isotonic drink before the race. So after also having a good breakfast, I was feeling good. I was feeling full of energy. I had porridge with banana and peanut butter, and as well as 2 peanut butter jelly sandwiches for breakfast, if you're interested in this. And those I had maybe around 3 to 3.5 hours just before the race, so I wanted to be sure that the sugar and the carbs actually will load my muscles a little bit more before the race. In the middle of the course there was a slight uphill, but apart from that, no surprises. I took my time before the race to study the layout of the track and more or less to have a plan for the race, where I can rest and where I will need to put more effort. I broke down in minutes the lap when I have done it by myself, and calculated how long I will have to sustain such and such power in order to stay with the best in the group. I found it really helpful, especially when you know that you have to distribute your power for the whole race. You could really balance out the outcome of your race. This is the start lap 1 climbs. As I said earlier, there are 3 consecutive climbs, with the first one being in the medium length, around 1 minute and 20 seconds long. Here the tricky part is the cobble section just before the top. Really steep section with sometimes the gradient going up to 15%, and it was manageable climb, especially for lap 1, but it took quite a lot of effort. Right after, we have the second climb, which is a leg destroyer, complete leg destroyer. 30 seconds of pure suffering with average of 11%. If you have strong legs, here is the perfect place to split the group or to try to do a breakaway. However, we did not lose any more riders from the people that dropped out on the first climb, and we managed to stay together for the rest of the lap. The last climb of the lap is the one that takes you to the start-finish straight. I had to be really careful because here it is all about managing your power. I was thinking of the moment, but also how to proceed for the final lap as well if I managed to stay with the group. It was around 2.5 minutes of climbing, and in the first lap I managed to stay with the front group without any problems. However, a big breakaway formed, and our group was the group that was going to keep the lead until the end. There were no surprises on the flat sections, so that is why we are jumping again on the climbs. And boy, that second time was really difficult. Already on the first climb, a group of really strong riders did everything possible to break, and they managed to build a small gap of around 2 to 3 seconds. I was putting everything I have left in the legs just to stick with the group. But we managed to get them just before the second climb. Again, putting everything I have left in my legs just to stick with the group. And again, 2 or 3 riders tried to get away, but they were caught later on. And so we come to the last climb. And here something really stupid happened. My laptop stopped recording the screen, and not only that, but the picture from Zwift went away. And basically I was without seeing what's going on, just turning on the pedals and trying to change again the screen back to Zwift so I see where I am. And it was exactly that moment that I lost the wheel of the guys in front, and you can guess what happened afterwards. I got dropped. It was just in matter of seconds that this happened, in the worst possible moment. I believe I could have lasted for at least the next climbs, the climbs of the third lap with the group, and afterwards whatever happened happens, but this was not the case. From that point onwards I was alone for almost the whole last lap. There was a minute gap behind, and I think it was around 30 seconds gap in front. I was 14th at the time, and also 14th was the place that I finished. Here are also the official results of the race. You can see I did 290 watts average power with 4 watts per kilogram, which for me is another solid performance, keeping in mind that this is only my second race in A group and 5th race overall on Zwift. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with my performance. Also seeing that a lot of the guys in front are or professional or ex-amateur riders on world level. Having those guys in front of me really motivates me. Next week we are going to do stage 3, which should be a little bit flatter and hopefully a better result for me. So thank you guys once again for watching my videos. I would really appreciate if you subscribe and like them, and see you next time.